welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Marissa. I am training for my second marathon, which is coming up in less than 3 weeks now. I'm currently in my taper phase, which is wild to think about. I feel like this training has gone by so fast, but also has been lasting so long at the same time. But it is so wild to think that I'm less than 3 weeks from race day now. So for this video, I figured I'd show you a typical day in my life, balancing marathon training and my job, as well as talk a little bit about how I'm structuring my first week of taper. So today is actually Wednesday. It is a workout day for me. So even though I'm tapering now and dropping intensity, I still like to get workouts in, just to still get a little speed in the legs to make sure they're feeling fresh come race day. So this morning I'm going to the track. There's actually a high school track right behind my neighborhood, so about a 5-minute walk from my house. So I'm gonna head there for my workout. I'm doing 4x1 mile repeats this morning with recovery jogs in between, as well as a warm up and cool down. My goal pace for the repeats is around a 7-minute mile, so we'll see if I can hold that pace. I did just have a banana for breakfast. I'm gonna finish up a little bit of coffee, get some water in, and then we'll hit the track. It has gotten so cold here already. It's like low 40s right now. And the worst part is that it's still pitch black outside and it's 7 o'clock. Hopefully it'll lighten up here in like a half hour. So most of the workout will hopefully be done with some form of light. But I feel like that's the worst part of this time of year. I honestly don't mind the cold. I would much prefer running in the cold than the heat. But the darkness is something I never get used to. I really hate running in the dark. Warm-up is done. Just did 2 miles around the track. Kept it between an 8:10, 8:20. Now it's time to get into the workout. Guys, workout is done. Whew, felt pretty good. Good to get some pickup in the legs. The workouts I feel like never get easier. I always am like dying through them, but I love the way I feel after a workout. It's just so different than after just like going out for like a longer, easier run. Happy I got it done. Feel really good. Now I'm gonna go home, get some breakfast, and start some work. Alrighty guys, if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I make the same breakfast pretty much every single morning. I am a creature of habit, but I also just like love this breakfast. I crave it every single day. I always look forward to it. So why change when it's working, right? So I always do 2 pieces of toast with cottage cheese, 3/4 cup of egg whites, and today I mixed in arugula and mushrooms into it. Super good, super high in protein, keeps me full for a really long time, which is great. Something else I've been obsessed with recently is this salted maple cold foam from Trader Joe's. This stuff is so good. I just recently tried it and have literally had it like every single day for the past like 3 weeks. And I'm honestly gonna need to go pick up another jar of this before the season's out because it's honestly something I could probably drink year round. Alrighty guys, I'm just starting some work. I have a meeting in a little while here. I'm just gonna go through some emails, check on some things, get some things done before that meeting, and then I will see you for lunch. Alrighty, so it is the best time of the day, in my opinion, lunchtime. I love lunch. I really prioritize it. I've been loving doing like big, like Mediterranean inspired bowls and plates for lunch. They're so freaking good, so filling, so many flavors, good color. So I figured as I'm making my rice for my lunch, I'd talk a little bit about how I'm structuring my first week of taper here, what I'm doing, how many miles I'm doing, and comparing that to my last couple weeks of my marathon training. Alrighty, so for anyone that's not super familiar with what tapering really even is, essentially throughout your marathon training, you're constantly ramping up your mileage week to week, intensity of workouts increases, until you essentially hit your peak week. And this peak week of training varies for all athletes. It is really dependent on whether you're a professional, an amateur, how many marathons you've done, what your background is in running, if you have any injuries, etc. So a lot of factors can play into what a peak week of training looks like. But essentially for peak weeks, you're just hitting your highest mileage, your most intense workouts during that specific week. And then following that week, you start to taper. So you're starting to reduce your mileage, you're starting to reduce the intensity of your workouts up until your race day. And the point of tapering is essentially to give your body adequate rest before your race day so that your legs and your body are as fresh as possible to run those 26.2 miles really hard. Because like with anything, if you're going way too hard, too often, really pushing yourself constantly up until that race day, you're just gonna burn out. You probably will not have a very good race. So the tapering really allows your body to reset, to rest a little bit so that you can really hit that race day hard. So for me personally, my peak week was last week. I hit a total of just over 60 miles, which was my highest mileage week ever. So it was a huge week for me. I was feeling pretty tired by the end of it for sure. I also did my longest long run that week, which was 22 miles. I did hit 2 different workouts that week, so one in the middle of the week, and then I did do a workout in the middle of my 22 miler as well. So that was my peak week, and now I'm into the taper for the next 3 weeks before my race day. So essentially I'm not really changing the structure of my weeks. I'm still having the same number of easy runs, the same number of workouts, still doing some version of a longer run, even though it's not going to hit close to 20 miles again, as well as one rest day, just like I have been doing the past 4 months. But even though the structure is the same, the intensity, the amount of miles that I'm running looks a lot different. So whereas last week I ran 60 miles, this week I'm probably only running about 45 miles, which still seems like a lot because it is. But comparatively, that's a difference of 15 miles that I'm not running this week that I did last week. So my body should definitely feel that benefit and that recovery by the end of the week. So going day by day for my week, I did take my rest day on Monday. Yesterday, which was Tuesday, I did some easy miles on the treadmill for 5 miles just because it was raining outside. And I also got in a good full body lift at the gym immediately following that run. Today, as you saw, I did my workout run. I did 4 by 1 mile repeats at a 7-minute pace with a warm up and cool down. Now it seems like that was still a lot of miles and a lot of intensity, but if I wasn't tapering, I probably would have done more mile repeats. I probably would have done 5 or 6, but because I am in the taper, I did reduce the number of mile repeats I did. I do think it is still good to get some pickup in the legs and still hit those workouts rather than just doing all easy runs. I do think it helps me keep my legs fresh and also helps my legs remember what it means to be speedy. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, I will do another easy run. I'll probably do 5 or 6 miles. I'll do another 5 or 6 mile easy run on Friday. And then on Saturday, I will do some version of a longer run. It will probably be between 15, 16 miles, which is still a decent long run. But after coming off of doing 22, it's gonna feel so nice to not be out there for 3 hours. During that long run, I will add a little bit of workout into that run as well. And this is pretty typical. For most of my runs, I do some sort of workout within the long run itself. Most of the time I've been doing like half of the run being like just easy, steady miles, and then the second half of the run being miles at marathon pace. This week, I'm probably gonna do things a little bit different. I think I'm gonna do 2 by 3 miles at marathon pace within those 15 to 16 miles with a mile in between just as a recovery. And then the miles on the front end and back end will essentially be a warm up and cool down. And that's again, just to get that pickup in the legs, but also not cumulatively doing a ton of miles at marathon pace. And then lastly on Sunday, I'll cap it off with another 5 or 6 mile easy run, as well as a full body lift, just to get that strength in as well. Moving into the following 2 weeks, it will decrease even more. I will probably not prioritize the strength at all, just because I'm not gonna wanna get an injury, but I'll leave those details for the next YouTube video. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. I've got some chicken, zucchini and yellow squash, some lettuce, some rice, carrots, garlic hummus, feta cheese, tomatoes, and avocado. Alrighty, so I haven't filmed for the last couple hours. After work, my husband got home from a work trip. We had dinner together, watched a little bit of TV on the couch. Recently, we've been watching Slow Horses, and so we just finished off the newest season tonight, and it was so good. If you've never seen that show before, it's on Apple TV, and it is such a good show. But it's about 7:30 right now, so I'm gonna start getting ready for bed, probably read a little bit, or scroll on my phone, and then try and get to bed early. But today was a very typical day in my life, balancing marathon training as well as my work. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about tapering and what I've been doing this first week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.